It's a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are. And like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless believers.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. This is Gail of Gaia, and this is Free Range, where we graze on wild ideas. And I got Drake on here before I was supposed to, but it doesn't matter, because we're going to start this out with our favorite song. So you're going to have to bear with us and just listen to it, okay? Because what the song says is exactly what we need to do. Wouldn't you agree, Drake?
Yeah, but it don't cover it all. I'll get into that.
Well, I don't know how much more you can cover in a song, but here we go.
Okay.
As soon as I find it. Where is it? I can hang up.
Do tell you lost.
Oh, there it is. Sorry about that.
Well.
Together we can fight
All righty then. There we go. Now we're back to the real. I would just like to say thank you to the wonderful woman who sent this to me today. Thank you so much. Isn't that pretty card?
Yeah, it's neat.
It's awesome. So, where are we today, Drake?
Oh boy. Well, I kind of hesitate to set the record straight, but Hawaii wasn't no accidental. Ooh, we had wildfires situation.
Not exactly Mother Nature, was it?
No. There's two types of weapons that they've got available. One is the high energy beam weapon. You've seen what those do in the funny looking, I don't know, about 6, 8 foot wide burn tracks that went down the line of houses. Just burnt the center out of it. Just set the trees on fire on either side. Just burn up a section. Okay, that's a beam weapon.
I got a picture of one. Should I show it to him while you're talking? Keep talking. Keep talking. Here's a beam weapon right here.
Yeah, that's a beam weapon. You notice it's nice and tight and orderly and all that. Well, what they used this time is called a disruptor, and you've heard that terminology from Star Trek, where the Klingons used disruptors, and a disruptor has a rather chaotic looking beam. It's just got a general shape to it, but it ain't nice and straight like that beam weapon is. However,
Is that a do or is do something different?
what it does is it causes the molecular structure to disassociate from its neighbor. In other words, you got two molecules like this mix something up, and the disruptor causes it to let go.
Split apart.
Yeah,
wow.
it's nasty, especially when you hit something that's alive with it. It makes the biggest mess you ever did see in your life. It causes things to stick to the wall and etc. Anyway,
Okay.
I get up very specific about some things.
Well, was that a direct energy weapon? Is that the same thing, or is that something different?
No,
The beam that we just saw. What was that? Was that the do? Was that a do, or was that what was that?
a high energy beam weapon is like a laser. It's concentrated, and it's
Isn't the
very, very succinct in its shape. Okay, a disruptor is disruptive in and of itself, and therefore, when you look at it, it's all crookedy, kind of like a lightning strike may or may not go in a straight line. Usually, they go crooked. Well, this is what a disruptor does. It goes crooked. So, uh, that's the basic difference. The other basic difference is that disruptors are very simple to build. You can make one out of an AM radio. Give you an idea. And that would be one that would be able to be used for anti-personnel purposes, like across the room, somebody's sneaking in the house and you decide you want to light them up, that will light them up. Guarantee you. Um, they have a uh, another weapon that's uh, causes harmonics to play against themselves or to play along with themselves and build a extraordinary force within a very small area. Um, they use them in varying places about um, certain ETs are immune to everything else. But that one works every time, all the time. Makes a mess, but it works. And that's, what you got to, you have to bear that in mind. If you want to get down to the nitty gritty, that was an attack. that was not natural. That wasn't a power line fell down and started a brush fire, kind of horse hockey.
Well, you know what I read, Drake. What happened was, some people were trying to blame it on the electric, the electric and disrepair and things like that.
Oh, it's
That's not
global
it.
warming.
Yeah, or that one too. But the truth be told, the electric company left the electric on, which only helped to feed the fire and make it worse.
Yeah, they didn't help, but that's not near as prolific as the disruptor does, because you can take the disruptor and fire it multiple times, rapid case, like bang, bang, bang kind of thing, and it shoots a pulse. And that pulse is, like I said, disruptive. It causes the molecular bonding to let go. And
So where would this be shot from then? Where
you
would
can
they?
do it from you can do it from anywhere. You stand on the ground and shoot one. You can be in an aircraft. It varies. Um, the beam weapons were shot from low level ET style aircraft. Okay.
I thought it was the satellites. People told me satellites. I don't know if they're what.
Well, you can shoot them from a satellite, but it's not as effective when you're not in close proximity to your target. Simple. Okay. The disruptor, on the other hand, has disruptors are kind of strange. They latch on to solid objects like a gun or a tank or a building or whatever, and when after it latches on, then it activates, and um, the forces that we are familiar with in terms of molecular bonding. Um, that also includes cellular bonding. It causes to release, and when it releases, it creates all kind of messes, as you saw.
So who has these weapons?
Now you're getting into an area that's dangerous, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Uh, well, seriously, dangerous. Last person that mentioned this particular group, um, they loaded his after they chopped him up. They loaded him into his body parts into a cannon and fired it, and they fired it at his relative's house. So there was chunks of him stuck to the house for a while.
What? Who did this? To who?
Well, that's what I'm getting to. That's what I'm getting to. Everybody's heard of the deep state. Everybody's heard of the swamp and all these other
Vague references.
asinine groups. um, the problem we've got is that this group has bought into the agenda theorems, and by that I mean you got 21, 22, 23, 24, 28, it goes on and on and on, each one with a specific that it's supposed to do in terms of its operation. Blue Book is an example of a takeoff on visualization. That's all it is. And you'll see things that ain't there. Monsters, woo, ETs that are coming to get you, that kind of stuff. The thing about all of it is quite simple. When you use a disruptor, you don't want to use it more than once or twice in the same place, because it has a tendency to have what's known as feedback. And that's where you get the screeching when you get a microphone too close to something, and everybody's heard that. Well,
Yeah.
the energy from the disruptor does the same sort of thing, but it feeds back to its source. In other words, he who pulls trigger and fires weapon is apt to get a large dose in the wrong places of this energy. And I doubt that there's very many soldiers, be they super soldiers or what, have ever experienced what happens to somebody when they get shot with one of these things at what is called a screnched and that's the term they use, screnched energy. Now, screnched means that it's not bound by the origins. So they originally comes out like a crooked beam and does things. This is not limited to that. It can do just about anything it wants. Climb up your whatevers. I mean, it ain't something to fool with. This is why the in the um, Star Trek uh, movies, you find one simple truth: the Klingons used a disruptor. They used them a lot. Okay, they modified their disruptor over to a phaser because of that feedback. If you're in a battle with a ship and you're shooting, you don't want that stuff going.
Yeah, really. It's like shooting yourself.
Yeah, it's sort of like shooting a rifle. You know, you got a battle rifle, and the enemy's coming in, pow, 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 and all of them go pow, 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 right back at you. No, 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 no. That's a problem in the woodpile we need to deal with. Well, the way to deal with it is not use a disruptor. Disruptor is considered a single fire weapon, energy weapon. Then you got
What are these plasma weapons? They talk about them too. What's the difference?
well, one uses one kind of energy and one uses another. A plasma weapon uses plasma, and
So what happens
plasma
when plasma hits you?
um,
Does a
it has a
plasma make
tendency
you?
it has a tendency to do two things at once. One, it sets you on fire. Number two, it causes all the cellular things like fingers and muscles and bones to splatter. That's what a plasma weapon does. Then, if you want to get into it, you get into the Class A. Um, the number one Class A is the same one they had on one of the Star Trek episodes, where they found a pistol, looked like a ray gun, yeah, whatever you want to call it, and Spock figured out how to make it work, and they fired it. And what it did was it projected atomic energy. And when it projected the atomic energy, and that atomic energy projection ran into a solid object, it went off. Boom. Right? And I think he got to fire it twice. And all of a sudden, the weapon itself said, unauthorized user, self destruct initiated. And so he had to
Oh,
call Scotty real quick and have that little pistol thing uh, zapped over to the other side of the continent so it didn't blow him up. The explosion from that thing was extreme. So that's what that's one of the things that you can look at, and they have others. They got
well,
a planet killer and a few other things that are out there, out and about there that
planet killer.
nobody should go fooling with because if you don't know what you're doing.
Is this the government or are these corporations?
ET.
Oh, ET.
Yeah,
Well, they have technology way far advanced from us. That's for sure.
well, they're making damn sure that the dingle dings that are that would do something like that don't ever get a hold of it, and that if they do, it blows up on them.
Good. Okay, we have a comment that from
Uh-oh.
David Anthony saying that energy weapons are still being used on Hawaii right now.
Yep.
What are they doing right now? Are they doing more fires or what?
The military didn't bother to set off the emergency sirens. Oops.
Yeah, no.
That's a big oops.
Yeah, I heard the guy talk about that, Drake. He actually said that, he would do the same thing again. He has since resigned.
Well, you don't understand what you're playing with. The people that are in charge of this stuff are about the most insidious there is. People have heard about bad guys and this and that. These guys make the ETs that eat people because they think we taste good. Look like child's play.
Reptilians.
Look like child's play. These people will roast somebody just to hear them sizzle. They don't care. They ain't gonna eat it. Normally they might. They might put you on a barbecue and fry you up. Just to
Well,
hear you
see, what's
scream.
interesting about this is that we have always been told there's no such thing as
Well,
ETs. That's what churches tell people, and here there are. They've been here for a long time and been
uh,
able to be very stealthy, um, and people aren't aware of these things. So you're
well,
enlightening them.
the problem we got is primarily the secrecy ET's held on to. ET's going to have to let go of some of the secrecy, come out in the open, or as in terms of presenting themselves. They're going to have to stipulate certain entities as being evil, nasty thingamabobs, whether they're ET or what, doesn't make any difference. And we are going to have, and this is, if we ain't careful, we mess up our planet pretty badly in the process. But we're going to have a big war with these turkeys. These are basically pirates. Okay.
When are we? When is the population ever going to be told about this? They
Well,
have to remain in the dark.
we're the only ones putting the information out. You tell me how many people do we reach? And how many people go, I wonder what they've been smoking, or whatever.
Conspiracy theorists.
Oh yeah, man. He must be drinking some good stuff, man. Find out what it is. We can get some of that. Ooh.
Okay, the next question is, are we still on for some major changes before the end of this month?
I hope so. I'm tired of running around in pain all the time, and
You and me both, let me tell
my
you.
whatever. Well, my whatevers have a tendency to drag on the ground, and they get sore when that happens, and I don't particularly appreciate that.
Okay, we won't go there.
All right. Who
Okay,
are the Maui on Easter
let's
Island?
see. Do Source personally design all the life that occur in their universe, or do they just set up the life blueprint and leave what comes out up to chance? What does it take to become a source? Well, there's only one source of all that is. So if you want to
Not
talk a
true.
demigod or something like that, well, that's a
Not true.
difference of opinion between you and I then.
No, we have sub-sources. We have a source for this galaxy. Okay. When you go to source prime, then you're talking to the big kahuna.
That's what I'm
Well,
talking about.
the little kahuna can do just about everything the big kahuna can do. And the big kahuna tells them, you do this and this and this. And he comes back and does it. Okay. They don't leave stuff up to chance. You think that Mother Nature, the way it's so intricately involved, right, meshed together, um, how does a tree know when to have leaves, or flower to bloom, or us to have kids, or whatever? Okay, think about all that, and you're going to tell me that's an accident? I don't think so. Secondly, what does it take to become a source? Um, I can get a person I can get a person's attention, I think, on Skype that has made their own realm of existence, and uh, I'd say that no, not I would say that person would probably be the one to ask that question of. Now, you may get into a private conversation where they ask you, where that person would ask you, "Why do you want to know?" And you go from there. Now, if it's whatever the reasons are, they'll become very clear to that individual. Don't don't uh, don't lie to them or play games with them because you won't like the results. Put it that way. I have conversations with this person every once in a while. So if you want me to, I will see about getting that person on, or having that person, grace your show with their presence, and they can go from there.
Well, just keep me informed if you can get a
Yeah,
hold of them. Okay, who are the
Moai,
Moai on Easter
Moai.
Island? Moai? Is that how you say
The
it?
Moai are the ones that um,
Are those statues that they have there?
Well, wait a minute, and I'll get to that. That the statues are not statues. A lot of people think they are, and they ain't.
What are
Uh,
they?
yeah, really, those are living entities, and you don't screw with certain ones of them, or you're liable to end up with a serious problem. Those are gods. All right, bear that in mind. It just you can put that in the back of your head or whatever. The Moai are the ones who put the whole system on Easter Island together. That's who the Moai is. The Moai, some of them, uh, decided to become gods themselves and now inhabit some of those big statues you see.
Oh, okay. Wow, I didn't know that, Drake. That's fascinating.
I'm trying to be reasonable about this.
Oh, well, this is new information. FEMA killed more than 1,000 survivors
Survive.
and burned with flamethrower and burned with
Where was
flame.
that at?
What do you mean? That was right here.
These firefighter.
Oh, I skipped over the one about Kent Dunn said that the Lahaina mare is a shape shifting reptilian.
I can believe that.
I can believe that too. I wouldn't doubt it one bit after some of the things I heard him say.
Well,
And no compassion, no compassion, no concern
I've
for the
seen some
people.
of the things they do, and that's what uh, screwed me around to it. And that's why I don't have anything to do with them. That's why I stayed out of Hawaii.
Marines had to be sent by General Smith. There was a huge fight, and they were greatly outnumbered by the FEMA baddies. Now, isn't FEMA? Weren't they? Aren't they run by Israel or something like that?
Who?
FEMA in Israel. Isn't there a connection?
No.
I,
Israel.
I think I challenge that. You could be right, but for some reason I remember reading that someplace. But it could be false
Yeah.
information too.
Well, you're
I
apt to
don't
pick
know.
up any kind of bits and pieces of information from all over the place, and some of them are right, and some of them are
Some
just
of them
flat,
aren't. Yeah,
no,
yeah, exactly.
imaginary.
So people have to realize that too. I mean, we do research and so on the internet. I try to have at least 3 different sources before I will say something is as it is. But even that, still could be intentional disinformation.
Yeah,
So,
well, I've had sources that had been reliable for years suddenly turn on things. So that was a huge firefight, by the way, and
well,
the FEMA turkeys got their butts kicked.
and rightly so. They caught them burying bodies,
Yeah,
just and drinking coffee, burying bodies like it was nothing.
yeah. Well,
Those aren't humans.
alive or dead, it doesn't matter. Stick them in the ground.
Yeah, just
There,
and then they saw people pulling the rings off of dead bodies too.
you have to understand that when you're considered a food source, that's like us being as far above in where we're at as we are in relation to a cow.
We're the cows for the
Well,
bad entities
let's
that like
make
to eat
hamburger.
us. Yeah. Well, and then they were trying to add it to
Yeah.
the different fast food restaurants. I hope nobody eats there anymore. Oh, and I found out something very interesting. There's a doctor artist video out there, and he was talking about glyphosate, which I've talked a lot about. I've had Stephanie Seneff on because she's an expert on it and has done research and so on and so forth. But about its toxic effects. But when it comes right down to it, nobody said exactly what was in Roundup, for example, and it's full of every kind of toxin and poison from different animals, from snakes and spiders, snails, you name it. It's all that's what's in there.
That's light duty compared with Xylol.
What's
Xylol is a very specific solvent that is used in steel manufacturing and cleaning and whatnot, and it what's neat about it is it dissolves things like flesh and bone. If you get it on you and leave it on there, it starts hurting. I wonder why, you know?
Yeah. Do you know the other thing, I don't know how much truth there is, just fear porn or what, but a lot of the chemicals that they put in our food are not allowed in Europe and other countries, right? But they put
Yeah.
them in our food and it affects us neurologically, from what I understand, and actually causes neurological problems. So that's all intentional. I mean,
Well,
we are really under siege.
when I find things like that out, or that somebody is, um, oh, mutilating little kids or some such, my first instinct is to take something that's got a trigger, make sure it's pointed the right way, and pull it.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
The very thought of that is totally
well,
disgusting.
you need one of the ways to stop that is to kill the ones that are doing it.
Exactly. And that's exactly what needs to happen.
And I don't like violence. I don't like bloodshed, but sometimes you got to take the bull by the horns. Sometimes you have uh, repercussions. I'm being
See,
nice.
isn't this is so typical. All the
Look,
big mansions of the elite were left fire free, but all normal people, people like you and I, their
yeah,
houses burned to the ground. And you know what they had the audacity to offer to them, Drake? Did you hear?
what?
$700. You couldn't even pay
Oh,
for a rent here where I'm at with that money.
oh,
But they gouge people here in Sedona. There's no doubt about that. But still, um,
well, you could always go visit.
$700. What's
You
that
could
going to
go.
do?
You could go visit and take a gun barrel and stick it up their nose and say, "I want you to increase the zeros." And if you don't, I'm going to testify with my finger and see what they do. That,
It's easier
a
said
lot
than
of
done.
people look. There are some people that I give a lot of credit to. Levin, he's on, and Mark Levin
Oh, I know him.
is
Yeah.
brilliant. But uh, Tucker Carlson is good at what he does. You got tons and
He's
tons
got a
of people.
huge crowd. I wish he would come out and say that, tell people that we're in a war and
I
people
know
don't
that, but
realize that.
here's the thing:
How come they don't know?
you got everybody and their mother-in-law running their jibs, talking and talking, and ain't nobody doing anything.
That's true.
Now,
That's really
what's
true. We're
going to happen?
disclosing all kinds of things, but what's being done about it? That is the problem, and that is the question. Everybody's afraid to do anything. They're afraid they'd be cut down.
Oh well, you're going to have to take the bull by the horns, grab a hold of your tail, rink, put a gun in the other hand, and go hunting. People don't realize that talk's cheap and it doesn't mean a whole lot, unless you get results out of it.
Well,
And
first it
uh,
has to be disclosed. People have to become aware of it, and then action needs to be taken to do something about it. And it seems like that aspect is going very slow.
hmm, like I say, if you take a certain politician, it doesn't matter which one, pick one, drag it screaming, kicking and screaming over to the prison and toss it in a cell and tell it it doesn't have any rights. What is that? Because you took all ours away. We're taking all yours away. You get to live. You get to live in that little cell and have fun playing with the rats and whatever. Now you do one. I would pick one that would screech the loudest. That'd be Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer. Pick
Sure.
one of them and drag it away. And I'll guarantee you, you put it away. Man, don't tell nobody where you went with it. If it's if the their lawyer, decides to get uppity, ooh, that's simple. You just grab it by the throat, or whatever's handy that you want to grab, and drag it over to the cell next to it and stick it in there with him. You only got to do about two people, maybe three, and I guarantee you, all of this funky horse manure quits.
Yeah, I think that's what needs to happen.
Well,
Okay, Pudwhacker says
I
hi.
put
He's
I
sorry
put
he's
my
late. That's okay. We'll let you slide.
I'm putting my secondary phone line in about a week or two. I already told people that, and it'll be for people to get contact with me so that I can. Um,
Do you
uh,
know Michael Jaco?
say what?
Do you know Michael Jaco? Because he was talking.
I've heard the name, but I don't know if I
Okay,
do or not.
he was well. He's former CIA, which always makes me wonder. But he is talking about getting a group together, just like you were. So I don't know. You
Well,
might
I'm gonna put a
want to.
phone line in so they can
You might want to
have a
talk to him.
contact, and then I'm gonna make that contact change so drastically nobody will be able to follow it or find out where it went, and train these people if they need training or correlate or whatever it takes. I've had enough. I don't know about everybody else, but
Okay. Are all the worldwide military exercises actually being done to take down the deep state?
yes, it's preparatory.
I think
You got to get
everybody if it feels the
you
same
got to
way.
have.
Well, I think most people that are aware of anything feel the same way you do, Drake. I certainly do. I've had enough. I've seen enough. I'm downright. I mean, I used to consider myself somewhat of a pacifist, but up to the point where shoot him in the head.
Well, I know one case that we do need to make an airdrop about, and that's Obama. We need to pack a chute on that boy's butt and take him
He's got
over
about
to
six
Africa.
clones, I think.
Take him over to Africa and drop him off. Tell him when you get to when your little watch thing says 10,000 feet, pull the cord.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh my!
Mm.
I didn't.
Well,
I didn't.
there's certain people that need to be thrown out of a helicopter, in my opinion, but that's just me.
Well, I guess Tim Potter would agree with you because he says, "Well said, Drake. No mercy for those evil bastards."
Well, I get a whole bunch of uh, Yahoo
Here we
and
go.
Boy and all that, and like you say, talk
Okay,
to
hey,
people.
you guys. FEMA was started with 9/11 with the Patriot Act. This information is coming from Michael Baxter from Real Water News. Marines chased them out, but they kills. They kills.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that Michael Baxter. He puts out a lot of good stuff.
There's ways to get people to comply with things that they normally wouldn't even think about, and like that song says, I will not comply. Well, these guys will, especially when you set certain portions of their anatomy on fire. They get real compliant real quick. Oh my God, man, don't do that. Oh Lord. God, getting you.
He made
It's
me
like
snort.
that guy you see in church. This dude is wet. I mean, he is soaked with sweat, and his eyes are big, and he comes up in there and real quiet, looks all around, makes sure nobody sees him. Just sits down in the back, where you can just see him over the top of the pew in front of him. His eyes are big, and he's going to say, "Oh Lord, if you can get me out of this one." uh,
Tim Potter brought up saying that when Christ said, "Suffer the little children come unto me," and what did he say about people that hurt a hair on their head? Something about putting a millstone around their neck and throwing them in the ocean.
that works.
Okay, and what's this one? Billions given to save Khazarian mafia in Ukraine, and that's exactly what's going on. I remember, and I don't quote me on these exact figures, but they were talking about sending 12 million or billion, I don't know which, to Hawaii, Maui, but they were sending more than twice that to Ukraine. Now, and this happens in Hawaii, and here the so-called president is over in what is he in Korea or some foreign country, didn't even have the decency to go to Hawaii.
Well, he said he was going to go visit today.
The what?
I think he said he was going to go visit today.
Oh, We'll
is what
see.
I
Huh?
heard. But
Who cares?
uh,
How many days
I
late
don't,
is
I
it?
don't, I don't put much stock in anything that
I don't either.
Bozo Biden says.
But it just shows. I mean,
Look. He's part of the problem. What do you
exactly.
expect?
You'd think people would realize that, wouldn't you?
No, it's like a religion. People have a Trump religion. Trump's not always right, and I would be the first man to stand up to him and say, "Cut the shit. That's wrong. Do it this way, and it's right." I would do
Well,
that in a heartbeat. Now, Biden is even worse. He don't. He really, honestly, don't have a clue what he's doing, which end is up. His wife probably has to help him finish going to the bathroom.
well, and that's
So,
not even the real Biden for that matter. So
yeah,
that's
well,
just ridiculous. Lenny is pointing out that this isn't just happening in America, and you're absolutely right. It's happening all
yep.
over the world. Um, it's terrible. It's like each country, though, can only tend to themselves at this time.
Mhm.
That's the way I see it anyway. That's why we're saying America first, because first we got to fix America before you can fix anybody else. It's just like you got to fix yourself before you can fix anybody else too. That's so it goes beyond just wanting to steal their land. I mean, I think it's dominance
Yeah.
and a lot. Yeah.
Well, we effectively did steal the land when we discounted the royal family in Hawaii, and we got a high price. There's some people, not us, not me, but there's some people who are going to pay a very steep price for that.
Good.
How long before Putin leaves the Ukraine?
Where is this? Where is this? Wait a minute. I didn't see that one.
Top of the chat.
Well, your chat must look different than
Chat
mine.
348.
348. Let me go all the way here. Oh, there it is. That's the bottom one. I missed a whole bunch of them before that. So you want to answer that? How long? I mean, how are you supposed to know that? I mean, I think he's planning on leaving pretty soon, isn't he?
Well, they want to know, so I will tell them. Putin is going to run up against the wall. Now he ran up against one of them already, uh, and that is the fact that um, the ruble went to less than a penny. I
I
think
thought that ruble was gold backed. How can that be?
hold on. So immediately, Putin gets on the phone, dials up China, and says, "Help!" China says, "Bullshit," and he says, "What do you mean?" And come to find out, they had lost over 50% of the valuation of Chinese assets in one day. Ooh. So both of our adversaries are hurting in ways that can't be measured, not really easily. Now, here's the outcome of this they have a choice. Putin doesn't want to be strung up like they did in the Weimar Republic, but he wants to maintain his power and he wants to keep on trucking. Well, two things got to happen. One, come out of friggin' Ukraine, totally out of there.
That was his country to begin with at one time.
Um,
Ukraine used to be part of Russia, so I
if
don't
you
see
go
him
and
as
really
invading a country, as some people are saying.
if you go and look at the real history, you'll find that Ukraine was not Ukraine. It was a standalone country before
Was it
the
filled with
Soviet Union
Nazis?
came out. So
Has it been a Nazi haven ever since?
no, the Nazis moved in, and the reason they did was that the place is so corrupt that you can do whatever you feel like. And
So it was easy it was an easy fit then.
there you go. Okay. So anyway, we got all this fun and games going on with that, and now that you got the two basket cases, our adversarial basket cases being put in the toilet, so to speak, um, they don't have much choice but to turn to us. And the reason they don't is because we have a combination of assets and control that other people don't have. And what I'm saying is that other countries do not have the connections necessary to pull off what we can do. So here's where the fun begins. When somebody asks for our help, it has to be highly conditional from our side. We're going to make it to our advantage this time. Uh, you guys thought that these different agendas and this and that's were all that great. Where are they at now? How much are they helping? And they're not. Therefore, you have one basic alternative, and that is to and that is to allow things to culminate. And one of those is in that thing that you put up just now.
Yeah, I think Zelensky will be leaving soon too.
Well, you're talking about this year, sometime this year.
Yeah. Okay.
This year.
Here's this one. Let's see what this one says. Has anyone publicly given notice to Congress to vacate as the people no longer need their services?
Yeah, there's a few that have been whispering about that for a while. Just so you'll know, I thought it was pretty. I thought it was very interesting that they, you know, would do that. But um, there's
Well, let's see.
there's more to it than that.
Here, let me get this one first. Okay, Ukraine. They found there's biolabs COVID adrenal. I probably shouldn't say that, so you can just read it.
Minced. Who? What kind of a
In the
breed?
breaking
Minsk.
of
It's supposed to be Minsk.
mince. Well, you know how easy
Anyway.
that is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we'll tell
okay.
you all of that.
There's another one. The only subject he disagrees with is the Azov Nazis even offended the German Nazis.
Well, you got two levels in everything. You got the regular everyday that it doesn't seem to matter, and we try to be nice kind of people, and then you got the let's say zealots, and that's what those others are.
Wow. Did you hear that? I heard this too, that Texas has applied to join BRICS or wants to have their currency gold back. Can they do that by themselves?
Well, yeah, people don't understand what Texas is. It's a standalone republic. It's not a state in terms of being a part of the United States. It's not a state where the federal government has a say over what it does. It can withdraw from the United States on a whim. Uh, and they've had a couple of times where they were ready to do that because of the way the federal government was acting. Now, join the BRICS. Well, in what aspect are you talking about? They have to secede first before they can join the BRICS as such, or if you're going to join them in terms of the currency, that's a different story.
Oh, here's an interesting question.
Yes.
Does the war in Khazaria have anything to do with the pyramids found there?
Pyramids found therein. Yeah. When you have a very unicular, singular belief, that's what happens.
Somebody is asking, hello, folks, Drake, when will things calm down? Is it okay to travel? I don't think, well, you can answer that, Drake. I have my opinion.
I'd tell you to hold up, make sure you got plenty of guns and ammo and food and water. And anybody you don't know comes to the door, tell them you don't want any. If they insist, put a bullet through the door. They'll go away. Shout at me.
Well, there's talk. What do you think about this, Drake? There's been talk about taking over. I don't know, the cabal, the bad guys taking over a variety of cities.
Well, you better bring a lot of people with you. Think about it. Well, the police probably outnumber these guys anyway. They can't handle it because they're short. Somebody short sheeted the bed on them. Well, When will things calm down? When we shoot the last one of them or string them up.
That's
That's
about
when
what,
we calm
yeah,
down.
Yep. And there's a lot
They
of
don't pay to
minions.
travel. I wouldn't. I would not. I don't travel any further than I have to. Okay, and that's it. I really don't.
I
And
don't
again,
either.
I'm afraid of anything because I'm not. If I feel like like it's not secure to be out on the road, I take my little old machine gun with me. We can change things in a heartbeat. Zzz. Oh boy, what was that?
See,
I don't know.
this is why Americans need to hang on to their guns. The Second
You can
Amendment. Here's another.
hold up a minute. Wait a minute. Put Potter back up there.
Okay, well, Potter and Lenny are on the same page.
Well, listen to this very carefully. Uh, and a lot of people think this is bogus bullshit, but it ain't. LOL. Laugh out loud. Wish we could buy guns in the UK. You can. There's more, if not as many, guns in the UK as there are in the United States. You just ain't talked to the right people, or you are an agent, one of the two, and they know this. So there you are. Now you can get guns. The guns ain't going to be the answer. The answer is going to be getting rid of these turkeys that think they can play God with your life. That's what needs to happen.
Here we have someone indicating, and I've heard this before, the rumors that there are many Chinese sneaking into the USA with weapons and waiting. They don't even have to bring their weapons with them because they have found different, I don't know, I call it a bunker, warehouses, storage units, you name it, full of ammo, guns, and the like.
You can buy anything you want if you got the money off the corner,
So there's the money,
depending
yeah.
on which corner you go to. And I mean that literally. Battle tanks, you name it, anything. Yeah, these people have no clue.
Somebody said, who cares if there's a law against it, Pudwacker? Is there any laws against making your own defensives?
No,
Creativity, and there can't be. And besides, those are probably the best ones because they're not registered. You register it and you just told them you got it. And then
yeah,
they can't come and take it.
they try to tell you that
That's,
fabricating landmines and that sort of thing is illegal. Okay, well then keep the dinks that they would be used against off the property. You stay out of it. You've heard that line in that movie about a car, and the guy comes out with a battle rifle and get off my lawn. Gran Torino.
okay. Well, we can go past that one. Let's see. What's the next one?
They're trying to outlaw everything.
Do you think the star seeds that have channels and charge a lot of money are really channeling the star people?
No.
Probably not.
The ones that offer the information for free are the real deal. Got that? It's like I get paid.
I do ask for help, but I don't charge. So
It's like Gail and
and-
I get all these tons, big bags of money. Yeah.
yeah, right.
I wish.
That's why I ask for help every now and then because that just doesn't happen. But anyway, global currency reset anytime soon.
Yes, it's going to happen this year. Now this is August. This is the 21st, and it goes to the 31st. Sometime in September at the latest. Okay,
There's another
maybe
one.
sooner.
Yeah, that would be nice. Is London Bridge going to open for ships?
Yeah, they don't have a choice.
Okay. Oh, Mary Jean said thanks. Thanks, that's what she thought. Okay, what's this one? Horse hold every day. Things can be very useful or dangerous. Water can explode with a catalyst and a little baking soda. Yes, indeed. Okay. Well, I gotta show you something else that I want to people to be aware of. I don't know if anything is going to come of this, but it's kind of surprising. So let me find it for you. Yeah. New. Let me hear it. Here it is. Here it is. Share.
Oh,
Okay. Get this. Let me get to the top of it. 14 U.S. cities sign WEF, World Economic Forum Treaty, to ban meat, dairy, and private cars by 2030.
bullshit.
The WEF infiltrated U.S. cities have formed a coalition called the C40 Cities Climate Leadership Group. I don't think they're going to go anywhere, but these cities, this is why people need to get involved at the local level to make sure that this isn't happening.
But it says 3 new clothing items per person per year. I use up more underwear than that.
Zero private. Well, I won't say anything. I'll let that one go. 0 private vehicles owned. 1 short haul return. Look at that. These are people that are flying around in their private jets to meetings.
They think they're in charge of us.
They're in for a rude awakening.
Wait a minute. Scroll back down a little bit. Right there. The report was published in 2019 and reemphasized in 2023. Ooh.
I just found this morning, so
There's
I haven't
American cities.
Yeah, here's the American cities, if you can believe this. Austin, Boston, Chicago, Houston, Los Angeles, Miami, New Orleans, New York City, Philadelphia, Phoenix, Portland, San Francisco, Washington, D.C., and Seattle. Well, we have a governor here that has recently called for the who wants to who I don't believe actually really is the right person there, but she is saying that Arizona should indict Trump. I read
you know what's funny? All of those are democratically run cities.
Oh yeah. And
Ooh.
I can't believe that with the Maui thing that happened, they say that the fraudulent results in 2020 were at Space Force in that when that happened. Like there was a woman here, this woman, let me show you this too. This woman came out and said that Space Force had everything, had all the information needed to prove everything. Okay. I can show you that woman real quick here because you can look this up yourself. Let me show you who I'm talking about. Here it is.
Well, let's talk to Jan Halper.
Well, I'm just going to show you this lady right here. So this is 9 minutes long, but basically she, stands up for Trump. And these guys are, trying to trash him as most media always does. Thou dost protest too much is what I always say. But anyway, this may have prompted the Maui hit because Maui was where the Space Force records were.
Yeah.
So you got that too. Okay.
What better way to screw something up and destroy the records? Why do you think the Pentagon got hit by an explosive device? Ooh, remember 9/11?
Yep.
They blew up the Pentagon, but the part they blew up was the records division. Ooh, they didn't want the banking records to get out. Guess what? We found another group of the banking records, and guess what? We are getting copies.
Yeah, and I bet you they have. That almost made me wonder when I first heard that. They were first postulating that. I was going, wow, isn't that interesting? I wonder if that was a setup, like to see if they would get hit because that information went out, knowing full well that they already had copies elsewhere or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I've got a couple of questions they asked me. It's more directed at me than anybody else. Cass 348 wants to know an update on the energy device. I've got 3 or 4 things to do, and it'd be in service probably within the next week is what I'm hoping to do. Any Silver Legion update? Well, I've talked to Teth off and on, and no. The Silver Legion is standing pat, waiting to see what happens next.
Well, I didn't see that one. Okay. What's this one here? If the Cabal can and are using energy manipulation on us, does that mean we can return the favor?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Any new info from ET?
ET. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, what do you got?
What have I got?
What do you got? That's new from ET.
A whole bunch of the funniest looking things you ever saw in your life, tooling around in their spaceships upstairs, and they have a sense of humor you just wouldn't believe until you run into it. The info is that it's ready. It's on the edge of happening. There's some of the details have to be done, and by done I mean completed, before they can do that. End of this month, begin at first of next, somewhere right in there. Okay. Start looking for. Oh my, what happened? Ooh, something changed.
Well, let's see. Well, Colleen, whoops, wrong one. Let me do that one.
We do.
Thank you, Colleen. We appreciate that. Okay, here's one for you, Drake. The transition. Where are we at?
Well, we got to get our house in order and clean things up to some extent before that happens. We haven't actually got to the point of taking any action yet. Words are cheap. A whole lot, as Elvis said, a lot less talking and a whole lot more action. Well, the transition is not predicated on what we do as such. It's a given, and by it being a given, I mean it is. Oh, good grief! It's more or less a thing that everything goes through, and it's not just a transition. You see ascensions from different levels of man into better ones, and we're going to go. The transition will get us to the place where my last book will become relevant. Okay.
Tim Potter says his suitcase is packed for transition.
No, Tim. You don't need to pack your suitcase because you ain't going to be using clothes where we're going. Ooh. Hey, I'll tell you what, that takes all of the guesswork out of things.
Okay, look, thanks so much for both of you sending blessings. Wish I could help more. You help just by being kind to others, being loving, spreading information.
Get them to laughing like Gail's going off right now.
Alrighty then.
God willing. Well, God, our Creator doesn't control that. Neither does the Creator Prime. There you go. Mind blow time. You're going to
Doesn't
find
control what? What are you talking about?
Transition.
Oh, okay.
You're going to find that is a metamorphosis from an amoeba to real people. Nude colony special.
I know. there were some in the past that I remember we first started learning some of this stuff way back in 2012, and somebody said something about anything that during the once the transition happens, anything that is not natural, like if you have polyester on, or if you have something like that on, it's going to disappear.
Well, if you want a real nightmare, I've seen what Pelosi looks like in a swimsuit. Can't imagine what she'd be like naked. Ugh.
Ugh. Okay. Should we carry on paying our bills? I got a feeling we shouldn't.
Just leave life the way it is. Don't worry about it.
You mean just continue as you always would? Is that what you mean?
So what?
Do you mean just continue the same as you always do, or
Yeah,
do you,
just continue on, and you'll be getting notifications by way of the internet, phone, TV, radio, and word of mouth. There'll be all kind of them come out and say, "Hey, guess what?" And go from there.
okay? Somebody's asking what you think of Ishmael Perez. I don't know if you know him. No.
Good person. How about that?
Yeah, he's putting a lot of information out.
Yeah, yeah. Well, a lot
That
of us
people
do.
need to know. A lot of it's pretty good. I may have to have him on again. I haven't had him on for a while, but I'll have to contact him. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Trevor. We appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, my coming book is going to deal on the differential between reality as we have it now, and what we're going to be familiar with in 4 and 5D, and a light being. So there should be quite a bit of interest. I'm in the process of writing it now. Okay, into the.
Any truth about the Social Security increase? So many people are waiting on that. I'm one of them too. I wouldn't have to be
It's
asking
not-
for any help if they would increase our Social Security.
Well, the
I never.
restoration is coming for IRS thievery, Social Security thievery.
Thievery.
Let's see here. And in general, the federal
Tax.
government allowing mortgage companies to continue to charge you a mortgage when they already have had plenty of opportunity to pay it off. Ooh, there'd be a lot of people going to jail.
A lot of them. Okay, Tim made the comment that Perez has been all over the place but gone quiet as of late. That's true. That's true. He was on everybody's show for a while. I mean, he had a book out, so Cosmic Origins, which is a good book.
What you got to understand, what you have to understand is that sometimes you get information hot, heavy, and fast, and sometimes you get it cold, moldy, and slow. So it varies a bit.
Okay, let's see. Oh, thank you very much, Devin Dodson.
People love us so much.
Isn't that sweet?
Let me express something before we go any further and leave that up there. I don't have a need for cash. I have sources if I got to have large sums. Some people aren't as lucky as I am, and Gail happens to be one of those. So if you can send her $20, $100, whatever, do so. She would not only be appreciative, she'd be able to continue doing what we're doing. Okay?
Thank you for saying that, Drake. I appreciate that very much.
You're welcome.
Want to keep doing this. It does take money, and it has taken extra, and I wish I had extra. And if I didn't need it, I wouldn't ask for it either. Anyway, but thank you for saying that.
You're welcome. I thought a little complimentary would be in
Okay. Oh, channel. He's on. Ismail's on tonight. I haven't seen him for a while. I don't know what he's saying here lately. Let me see. Does Fort Knox have the gold to back a currency?
No, Fort Knox doesn't have gold. We got it in other places.
Isn't it in Reno or Cheyenne Mountain?
Hey, now you're going to try to get me to commit to saying something that I'm not supposed
I'll
to
say it, and I don't know if I'm correct or not. So I'll just.
I ain't going to talk about it.
All right. You can't be blamed if I ask you questions. You just have to not answer them, right? Okay. Can higher dimensional beings control the weather in their presence?
Yes.
Can they control their own height?
Yes.
When they visit the 3D?
Yes.
Yes to all those questions. Okay. Here's another one. Is Earth really Mars, and is Mars really Earth? I never heard that one before.
Oh, that's a good question. You have to wait for ET to answer that, won't you?
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. I wish I had. Oh, okay. Let's go on to the next one. That's okay. I understand. Don't worry. Well, I thank you, Christy. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I would have to look and see, and I can't do that right now. But thank you very much. Everything helps. Sometimes it pays my gas and my food and water, which I need right now.
Did you see Nancy Moreno down there? How do I get Gail some money without using PayPal?
There's Cash App. There's an address. There's what's that other one? Stripe, or yeah, Stripe. That's really right from the bank. It's in the description. There's several in the description for different things that you can use. And thank you for thinking of me. Let me see what this says. We'll be able to make changes to our body. Oh, will we be able to? Here's a good question. Will we be able to make changes to our bodies, such as if you want to be a little taller, or you want to be age regressed?
No.
Using the med beds.
No.
Can't change that?
You're pretty much stuck the way you are. Oh,
Well,
boy.
now we have Jenny says we don't take these bodies, where these bodies are changing. So I don't know how all that's going to work, but
Nancy Moreno can't find address.
okay, I will put it in the chat. Okay,
All right.
Nancy.
Dimensionality? Goodness.
Yeah, can you elaborate? While you elaborate on that, Drake, I'm going to find the links that they're
okay.
asking for.
First of all, we're in 3D. We got to go numerically. 4, 5, and 6 is the ultimate goal. These come in threes, and in case you didn't know. Multidimensionality is where you have several dimensions that you, Nancy says she found it.
Oh, okay. Oh, good. Okay.
So,
What's this one? You were still answering about the multidimensionality.
Well, the multidimensionality means that you got more than one dimension that you're involved in, and this is true of everybody, whether they realize it or not. You eventually will realize it, and then you'll know what to do with it. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Let me turn around. Oh boy.
Yeah. Okay. Oops. Let me move down here. What's this one? Will ET use the motherships to heal millions of people at once?
Yes.
What do we need med beds for then?
Well, they can broadcast a certain frequency.
432.
That attend to certain things such as heart, lungs, liver, brain, etc. And what it does is it puts your chakras in order, first of all, and secondly, it causes them to start functioning. And when that happens, well, you get a big jolt.
Jolt? I just knew it.
It's sort of like getting jump started. It's sort of like getting jump started with one of them defibrillator machines. You know, they put it out, zoom. Well, that's pretty much how intense it is. Thanks, ET in advance, huh?
Here's a good one. What are they waiting for? I mean, our vibration would raise very exponentially if something like that happened.
There's a whole shitload of things that have to be done, have to be accomplished by us before we get there. You could use a tune-up. I'll trade you. I'm 75 years old and things is falling apart. I have to use supplements to patch them back together.
Conspiratory says she needs a jump start.
I ran on a duct tape the other day and about had a heart attack.
I wouldn't mind a jump start either, I tell you what. Steady with your coffee cups when you get the jolt.
Yeah, well.
Oh, that's funny. That's cute. Okay. So
you're only 71, Cass? 348? Hell, I'm 75.
Oh,
Wait till you get the extra couple of years. Oh boy, oh boy.
you
You
start
do
feeling
that
it once you hit the
all
70 a
over,
little more.
globally. Yeah, go wipe out some bad guys.
Here's listen to this one. Do I remain ugly when I transition? Who says you're ugly? You shouldn't think that of yourself.
Well, now I heard a fat woman tell a guy that she said, "I might be fat, but you're ugly, and I can lose weight." So take that as And if you believe, now listen to this carefully. If you believe that you're good looking, you will be. Think about that.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, actually. Do you have a suggestion on what an average person can do to help our world locally and or globally?
If you believe and you raise the light level in your own realm of being to the correct place, you'll find that there are a lot of things come available to you. You will have what would be considered an apparition or ghost ask you to alleviate certain sufferings a certain person may be experiencing, and that alleviation is a big help. And I'm gonna leave it there because uh, that there's no distance limitations on that. Okay, you can do that on the other side of the earth. You can do it for people that live under the surface on Mars. You can do it for the colonies of ETs on the moon. You can do it with the sun people that live in the sun itself. It's not limited. Okay.
All right. Here is.
Yeah.
Have they begun visiting select people, ET that is? They didn't
Yeah.
answer that last I had encounter
Yes.
2 years ago. You had an encounter 2 years ago? Wow.
Yeah, but you won't know they're probably doing it in such a manner you won't notice it. You won't be able to tell they're an ET. Gold is going to be used in RV coming from the gold artifact value.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me miss this one. Let me get this one up there first. I'm catching you up, Drake. If we had med beds, I would have to be prized out. Prized out? Prized out? No, they're supposed to be, the med beds were supposed to be free anyway, so I don't know what you mean by that. Maybe you need to reword that.
Oh, you'd have to be phased out. Uh-huh.
Phased out. Oh, I see. Okay. Phased out. Sorry. Okay, here's another. Did you answer that question or should we move on?
Drones that happens.
Will an EMP, oh, I moved that thing and it covers it up. Will an EMP take out the electric grid just before a new one is installed? Would EMP take out clones and biologic drones if it happens? And NPCs, non-person characters. That's what I got.
Yes.
It would take, oh, the EMP would take them out?
Yep.
Ooh, maybe that's not all a bad thing, but it'd take a lot of other stuff out too, wouldn't it?
Oh boy.
Generations and generations of passed down trauma will be healed suddenly. How does one's mind comprehend a totally healed self?
Well, first of all, you get
Memory.
absolute and complete clarity in your mind. Okay. Secondly, you will know. You don't have any doubts. You don't have any questions. You'll know. That's the way it's done.
And so these things won't be an issue, is basically what you're saying.
Exactly. The gold artifacts taken from the Vatican and royal families? No.
Okay. That question was the gold that's going to be used for the RV is coming from the gold artifacts taken from the Vatican, royal families, etc. when they were raided by the White Hats. You're saying no to that?
Yep. They confiscated they only got a little bit of it. The bunkers, I'm talking about.
Oh, the mile-long things under the Vatican?
Yeah. Well, you get bunkers that are huge, that are floor to ceiling. You can just barely get in there, and they're full of bricks of gold. and they belong to different countries, different depositors, etc. That is going to have to be returned. When when it starts being returned, then the wealth of the world goes way up. Okay.
Hmm. Someone else said that they have given up on trying to wake up the sleeping sheep. Never give up. Never give up. But don't be concerned either. You can plant a seed and then just move on. That's all you can do.
Well, a nice big explosion, it might, wake some people up.
Yeah, that's why they're planning on something of that nature. Do some people feel energy and frequency more than others, and why? Yes, they do. Can you explain why?
Well, I'm sensitive to it, and I'm not exactly human. I'm an incarnate, so it's different for me.
Well, it's different for a lot of people. I know a lot of people that say that they sense and feel energy. I think it varies in degrees. Some people more than others.
Dreams, there's a good one. Tim Potter come up with dreams and visitations. How do we know the difference?
Oh, down here. Okay. Okay.
It's very simple. One has a basis that can be directly translated into matter, and the other doesn't. Very simple.
Listen to this
You can
one.
you can have visitation either way.
Budwhacker got up at 3 a.m. and it was in his living room. I keep waking up at that time here the last few nights. That's kind of weird. But I don't see any entities. They might see me, but I'm not seeing them. Okay. Okay. Well, I think we're coming up. You getting tired, Drake? It's negative, rather. Okay.
I've been tired for the past week.
Ew. Let's replicate.
What do get tick like? You probably talked to a few of them. Oh boy.
Here's someone else that's stating that they sense energy at various levels and times. Why is that? Well, maybe the energy is changing. What do you say, Drake?
Well, some people have a need to feel it, or be aware of it, and you need to figure out why. That's the why of it.
This is good and true. Pudwalker, as you raise your energy vibe, it flows out through your aura and affects the people around you. So
Affect the area around you.
The more loving feelings you generate, it affects the people around you.
I would suggest you guys wait for that book. It explains all this in detail. So
So you're working on another book?
Yeah.
When do you think you'll have that done? Or you got far to go?
Well, I just started, so it'll be a while.
Oh, okay.
Not terribly long, just a while.
Are the bad chemtrails still going on? Because some people are saying that they're not bad anymore.
Not all of it.
Pardon?
Just a little bit of the bad stuff is going on. Not near all of it.
Okay. Let's see. This one says, I was very ill last year and couldn't sleep. Somebody appeared in my room and said to somebody else I couldn't see. He said he doesn't want to live. I answered, not like this.
Mm-hmm. Well.
He also says he's always been sensitive to energy. So.
Okay.
That being said, we're coming up on, almost our time to.
You mean we're going to turn into pumpkins?
Put it to rest. Yeah, we're going to turn into pumpkins, so we got to hurry up and get off of here. Oh, my goodness. One last. Oh, it's funny how questions keep coming in. All of a sudden, quick.
Interdimensional romance's a real thing, yes.
Okay, what about this one? Hearing of airline masks again in September and a C-19 lockdown, another lockdown. They might try it, but that's also a signal to our military, as I understand it. But anyway, okay. Do you have anything else you want to add, Drake, or anything you want to say to people before we close it off?
Well, I'll be finishing up a bunch of stuff in the near future, so enjoy.
Okay, let me take that one question down.
Yeah, no, Nancy, they're not. Good night, all of you.
They're not going to let them get away.
That room.
Where is my, oh, there it is. All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and thank you for being here. And it's always fun, and you make it so enjoyable when you interact with us and ask your questions and make your comments. So we'll see you again soon. Bye, everyone. Love ya.
We have found our way. It's a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are. And like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless believers. Stronger than ever. Never say never. Don't look back now. Don't look back now. Stand with each other. We are sisters and brothers, finding our place and running the race. We'll take our chance and seize the moment. Hold on tight and don't let go of all your hopes and dreams that light the way. We control our fate. Destiny awaits. We are all the actors in the stories we create. Hope will be our guide. We'll no longer hide. When we roll like thunder, feel the wonder from inside. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our